Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the 17th episode of the TreeTopChat. We have started a new little spin on YouTube, which we will call the TreeTopChat clips. And here you'll be able to see 2 to 5 minute clips of some of the greatest moments on the TreeTopChat. So if there's any episodes you missed or you want to see some of the best clips, please tune in to our YouTube channel and check it out there. So last week we spoke to Arbortech and had a great conversation about some of their new products as well as their history and development as a brand. With that being said, we now have the latest ArborFlex range in stock, some of them at least, meaning that you can order the new products. Unfortunately, their factory is closed throughout August, but we have some of the items here in the store. So I'll show you just a little quick glimpse of what it is. So this is the base layer. This is actually where the chainsaw protection is. So this class 1 type A. This is the piece that goes underneath. And then you combine it with the skin, which is available in different colors and models. So this is the Pro Skin in purple. This can be used as a standalone kind of trouser as well, if you don't need the chainsaw protection. But together with the base layer, it forms, the class 1 type A chainsaw protection pants. We also have those little babies in stock now. The new accessories lock version from DMM in 9 different colors. Very nice ones. New colors as well. So today we will be speaking tree care company. They do all sorts of things related to tree care and have become one of the most respected brands and companies in Denmark and Scandinavia as a whole, I think. Flittigmyre is run by Moses, who we'll be speaking to today. Moses has a lot of hands-on experience as the European tree workman, and he's the founder and the owner of the business. So if you have any questions for him today, feel free to type them out and we will try to answer them as we go. With that being said, Moses, welcome on. How are you?
Thanks a lot. I'm good. And you?
I'm good. How's your summer been so far?
We just returned from 2 weeks of vacation, so that's always a little hard going straight back to work. But yeah, I'm good.
Good. Is it as warm in Denmark as it is in Sweden today?
Yeah, it's super hot. It's been between 25 and 30, so we've been sweating like pigs all day.
Yeah, we had 31 here during lunchtime.
Yeah, then it's really hot also in the shop, I imagine.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell us a little bit how you became involved in the arborist industry and your process of becoming a European tree worker. Did you have any careers before becoming an arborist?
Yeah, unfortunately, well, I don't know. I actually started out in the maritime world, so and did that come through?
Well, we had some issues with the Wi-Fi here, so I didn't hear anything you said. So we have to start over.
I'll just start
Sorry
again.
about that.
Yeah, no worries. Well, yeah, I grew up sailing as a kid, so my background is in the maritime world. I've been doing all kinds of sailing from on a professional level as a professional sailor, and I'm also an officer in the merchant marine. I took education as a wooden boat builder, and then I went away from that for a few years. Worked in the sports industry as a sales manager and shop manager, and I just got so sick and tired of that world with so many phone calls the whole time, looking at Excel sheets, driving 600 hours a year in my car and stuff like that. So I decided for a career change, and since I've been climbing for almost 30 years now, all of a sudden I just woke up one morning and thought, well, maybe looking into tree work, maybe that would be a cool way to work, and I decided to give it a try, and I haven't looked back since.
Oh, nice. So, you've been a long time in the industry. What would you say is the biggest thing which has changed the arbor industry since you started?
Well, I haven't been in the industry for that many years, so not much have changed, unfortunately. I think there's a lot of things that should change, but haven't done it yet. So I think there's still a lot of old school mentality around tree work. We are very often looked at as unskilled labor, even though that we do a highly professional job that requires a lot of skill and a lot of craftsmanship, and we're not really getting the credit for that. So I hope that will change in the future if we just keep on evolving and keep on learning and spreading the word that we are actually professionals in this, and we care about trees, we know about trees, and we're not just someone who are out there with a chainsaw to cut everything down.
Yeah, I agree with you fully. So what made you start Flittigmyre? Well, what was the process behind that?
Yeah, well, when I first came into the industry, I was working for another tree care company, and I just found that it was very old school company, like a third generation kind of guy who was running the business. And even though that I was working with a young guy who was also who was a European tree worker, they were doing things very like traditionally and like old school climbing, taking a lot of risk, heavy lifts and stuff like that. And I just, on the long term, I just couldn't handle the lack of safety. I mean, they had so big disrespect for safety. So that kind of made me think, ahead of time, like looking at the future, what I wanted to do with my life and my work life, and I decided that I didn't want to work in a company like that. I looked around at some of the big companies here in Denmark, and I didn't really see what I didn't like what I saw. So I decided it was probably be the best solution to just start my own company, even though that I was hadn't been in the industry for that long, and I didn't have that much experience. But even I just felt that it was right to do it, even though that I knew I would probably make many mistakes and learning along the way, and that has pretty much been the case. But I'm happy with my decision, and being able to run things your own way is a big plus, and one of the main aspects that keeps me motivated to work in this business.
Yeah, I totally agree. I suppose the name Flittigmyre comes from the fairy tale of the diligent ant and the lazy grasshopper. So how did you decide to take that name?
Well, it was actually my friend who came up with the word, and we were brainstorming. And there's so many companies that have basically the same name, that has some letters and then tree care at the end of it, or tree felling, and you can't really tell them apart. And if you hear a name, you can't remember 5 minutes later. So we wanted to get something that really stuck out. So my friend came up with it, and I was like, yeah, that sounds good. Like laborious ant, that kind of like the work ethic that we put behind it, that like we're hardworking people, that sounds good. And then we got a graphic designer to make the logo, and I think she did a really fantastic job. The whole like thought process behind it was to try to find a name and a logo and a presence that people remember. So we don't have like any phone number, website, email, anything like that on the card, only the name. And even on our shirts, even though it says arborist on the back, we only have like the name of the company, nothing else. So kind of having that having that self-confidence to just have the name and nothing else, and just building from there. Hopefully people can remember the name.
People will find you anyway, huh?
Sorry?
I suppose people will find you anyway.
Yeah,
that name. I mean,
people see something and they just Google it. I mean, like like we all do. So when we see something, we just Google it, so we don't need to put.
Exactly.
I mean, some people have like a whole menu of stuff on the back of their van, and nobody can read it on the highway going 120 kilometers an hour anyway. So
actually, there is a company with the same name here in Sweden.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but they do a completely different thing.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about the services you provide. We know that you are doing anything from tree felling to reductions and planting and stump grinding, and you seem to have a pretty large portfolio of the services you provide.
Yeah, well, we try to do the stuff that we're good at, and the stuff that we like, that we enjoy doing. So it's mostly about climbing. So we do we climb most of the time. Over the summer, we've been doing some pruning, like some fruit tree pruning and stuff like that. But on average, we do a lot of climbing, and I think much more than our competitors. And it's not like we don't want to do hedge trimming like that, anything like that. But we just don't feel like advertising that. And so far, it's been working pretty well. We've been doing a minimal of stuff that we don't like trimming hedges. So we do all kinds of tree work, and try to focus on the tree care side of it more than felling. We have the saying that we always prefer to do tree care instead of tree felling, and that's why we also have a lot of pruning. Try to be really ethical in our approach to it, to always be the ambassador of the tree, and also when people want to have a tree chopped or something like that, we go into the discussion with the client to tell them that it's actually not a good thing to do, and I would rather say no to a job than to take something on that I don't agree with, or that will hurt the tree on the long term. So. Yeah, and then it's just evolved slowly from the start. So we do a lot of like risk-free assessment, cabling of trees. Yeah, a lot of pruning, a lot of felling. We have a stump grinder. Yeah, so a lot of things around climbing trees, and that's what we really enjoy doing, and we have the passion for. So. Yeah. And
do you provide your services, all over Denmark, or because you're based on Sjælland, right?
Yeah, we're based in Copenhagen. No, we try to stay around Copenhagen, and maybe an hour drive around in our area to to keep it a little local, so we don't end up driving a whole lot. And most of the clients with money and with big trees, they live north of Copenhagen, so that's where we do like 90% of our jobs is in north of Copenhagen in like a 20 kilometers radius.
Yeah, I can from what you said earlier that you had your fair share of driving anywhere, right? So keep it local.
Yeah.
So you have a very good social media presence as a company, but a lot of the individuals at your company are very popular on social media as well. Do you think that has helped your business?
Well, it's helped in the way that we have fun doing it, and it's fun every day we go to work. It's fun, and being able to share with our colleagues around the world what we do is a really big part of it. It's fun to share what we do, and also it's really interesting to see what everybody else is doing and exchange ideas about climbing, about the new techniques and stuff. I mean, I don't think Instagram is not contributing to the business side of it. It's mostly just for fun, actually. Our clients is more on Facebook. So yeah, so I think Instagram is mostly for the fun of it, and also exchanging ideas, and also all the people we've met at climbing competitions and stuff. It's really a nice way to keep in contact and being able to get inspired and exchange ideas.
So we kind of touched on this before, but where do you think the European arborist industry is heading? What do you think we can expect developing over the next couple of years?
Well, I hope it's going to develop in a good way. I can definitely see some challenges with regards to the CE standards and the way we climb. I hope that it'll be possible to get some common sense into things as well. Like if we see our American colleagues with the approach they have to crane work, it's very different from our regulations here. So I hope that down the line we will be able to do more crane work like they do in the States. It really depends on how the regulations and the authorities are looking at their side of things, and also how we as a business can promote our case and show that we are actually skilled professionals, and that can be hard sometimes when only there's little group of skilled arborists trying to promote the business, and then there's still a lot of old school hacks who are doing their own thing and not following the rules, and that makes it a little tricky, I think.
So is that something you see on a regular basis, that people are not working in a safe manner?
Yeah, unfortunately, there's a lot of part-time guys in the business. I took all my education on the Danish School of Forestry, which is a part of the University of Copenhagen, and they do a lot of courses there, and a lot of people come to do a course in climbing or in use of chainsaw. So everybody wants to come and learn how to chop up trees, but they don't want to learn the biology behind it. So the courses involving biology and all these other things that kind of is the basis of everything are not being run because there's not enough people. And I think that is a big problem in the industry. I think if we want to move forward, we need to rise the level of our skills and the knowledge among all of us, and I think we'll also be paid much more if we can look more professional. So I'm really trying to promote that people read books, go to courses, go to seminars, get certified, so we can all like raise the bar and earn more money at the end of the day and have more fun doing it. That we're not being looked as is just some sort of unskilled labor that anybody can do with the chainsaw.
But I suppose you have as rigid legislation around chainsaws that we have in Sweden, right? Yeah,
we have some of the same rules, not all the regulations. Like in Denmark, we're not required to have a high-vis shirt on like you do in Sweden. In our company, we try to do it anyway when we're working with climbing and chainsaws, because it just makes really good sense. It's always that balance. You try to follow as many rules as you can, but there's always these small little gray zones. Protecting equipment, climbing equipment, is it CE certified or not? I really like this rope. Oh, I can't use it because it's not CE certified, and stuff like that. So we try to always be on the right side of the fence, but it's always a little tricky, and there's definitely some gray zones there. But I think compared to not following the rules at all and doing like working with a chainsaw without protective equipment at all, it's like a whole nother world. So it's not it's only for us, it's like the small details, but for other people it's like they don't use chainsaw pants, or they don't use proper climbing equipment, or a lot of people are climbing trees, just one guy, no groundie, just one guy who comes out and climbs up in a tree and takes it apart, and that's just a big problem for the industry, and also of course for the individual with regards to safety, and also of course they can offer their services at a lower price because they're only one guy.
Okay, so let's go to our standard question. Your favorite piece of gear of all times and why?
It's a hard one. I have a lot of favorite toys. At the moment, my favorite piece of gear is the Edelrid Tree Rigs harness. It's a really cool harness. I've since I started climbing in the early 90s, I've been using Petzl harnesses the whole time. Like I don't know, I've had maybe 15 different harnesses from Petzl, and also in the rope access world, where I've also worked in that side of the business in rope access, and always used the Petzl harness. But I decided to give it a try, the Edelrid, new Edelrid harness, and it's a really comfy harness. I mean, for me, it's really comfortable to that you can change both between having like a traditional sports climbing type tie-in point, and you can also have the more lower like bridge kind of attachment connected to the lower Ds. So it's very much like inspired by the Tree Motion harness. But they invented a chest harness that comes with it that works really well when you are ascending up the tree. So with a good knee ascender, it works really well. It's the best ascent setup I've tried. It works really well, and then we are set up for rescue. With the chest harness, it's much easier to rescue someone if they're hanging in the tree, bent over backwards. So we always climb with a chest harness, and yeah, it's just a nice piece of equipment.
Yeah, I actually have one here in the store, so maybe you'll see some news, in the fall. I had it here for a couple of months, so we're kind of,
I think people should try something different out in the stores, and not always just. I see a lot of people when I'm in my local store here. I see a lot of people who are just going in and only trying 2 different harnesses. But I mean, try it all. I mean, maybe you'll be surprised that the harness that your friend is using and thinks is the best might not fit you. So I think it's a good idea to always be curious and try different things.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell us a little bit more about your company. How many employees are you now? How has it grown, and how is it like running such a company on a day-to-day basis, for you, being active on a daily basis in the work as well?
Well, I started out just being me, and that was really hard in the beginning because always having to find someone to contract with for the job. So every time I was talking to a client, I always have to tell them, "Oh, let me look in my calendar before I can say yes to this job." So I decided I wanted to have someone join the company. So a year and a half ago, Flittigmyre joined the company as an apprentice, and she's been really cool in the business. She's almost finished her education as a forest and as a nature and forest technician. So actually this week another guy started. So now we have 3 people in the company. So that's really cool. And then I have some really talented freelancers that I work a lot with. Magnus, Skritter Magnus on Instagram, and Anton Banke, 2 of the best climbers around. I'm fortunate enough to come and to have come work for me once in a while when we have something big going on. So yeah, that's helped my business a lot to work with some of the really experienced and good guys.
Nice. We're looking forward to follow your further development.
Yeah.
So in terms of you've been working with different people, different arborists, different ages. So what would your best advice be to young arborists actually, or somebody wanting to kind of go into this occupation?
Yeah, well, yeah, it's a good question. I actually have been teaching some courses at the Danish forestry school in innovation and in entrepreneurship, how to start up your own business. I think one of the most important things if you want to start your own company is building your network. All the people that you know that you might not consider as a network, but more as friends and family. That's what really helped me get started in this business, to have all these people that I know from sailing, from someone I've just met once 10 years ago on a cross-country ski trip or something like that. everybody that I know. Try to just get the word out what I'm doing, and a lot of those people have was my first clients to get the company started. So I think that's a really important side of it, to get a good network, both client wise, but also like where do I rent my equipment, because in the beginning you won't have your own equipment, so you need to rent it. Where can I rent that with a good discount or with a good service? And which other guys can I work with? I've worked with a lot of different people, and some of them you only work with once, and some of them you find that you really like working with, and then you develop a more close relationship. And so everything around networking is really important, and I think also to doing the homework before you start your own company. It's really boring to sit and do like a business plan, but it actually forces you to do all the critical questions, like all the answers, all the questions that you will meet when you go to the bank or to a leasing company to lease a car or whatever. All those questions you will be forced to kind of answer in your business plan. So that's a good way to go about it. Like, do your preparation, do your homework, and the third thing is really to be open to do something different. I mean, there's no reason to do the same as everybody else is doing. Dare to be different, and you don't have to find your own little magic thing or something, a niche way to work. You just have to do it better than all the other guys, and unfortunately that's pretty easy to I mean, if you show up on time and you clean up afterwards, you're already doing better than most of the companies. So yeah, and of course you have to believe in yourself and just go for it.
Yeah. Some very valuable advice there. I couldn't agree more. So we talked about earlier how important it is to have fun at work. So give us your funniest job story.
Well, just the other day we were doing like a massive copper beech pruning, and so Felicia was climbing on one side of the tree, Magnus was on the other side of the tree, like way up, like 20 meters up. And so the clients, they come out onto the porch, and the wife says like, "Oh, that's amazing! They're climbing around like apes up there." And then the husband is like, "Yeah," like kind of mansplaining. "Well, dear, that's why it's called an arborist." And I was just like, I just almost couldn't hold it in. I thought it was so hilarious.
That's a good story. So, do we have any questions from the audience? No, not at this point. So, I think Moses will call it a day here.
Yeah, I have a couple of questions. If you
you've got a couple of questions. Great, shoot.
Why do you not have a Danish flag on your Instagram? If you want to, cover whole Scandinavia, I think you're missing a Danish flag there.
Well, we only have a Swedish flag at the moment, so
and Norwegian and Finnish, I think.
And Finnish, yeah. But the company we're using for checkout has just signed up with a Danish bank. So just wait and see. It will probably be there in less than a month.
Oh, good, interesting.
Yeah. So we're going to be able to ship to Denmark as well, and we're also translating the web page to English as a first step.
Yeah.
But I think we kind of understand each other. I understand Danish as well, so I worked for a Danish company before. But yeah, well, we're working on that actually. So.
Oh, that's pretty cool. And then I actually have another question. Yeah, I don't know if you can answer it, or maybe some of the skilled climbers out there can. We're looking for a really static CE approved rope for ascent, like for climbing competitions. So when you're climbing with your TAS Love too, you need a rope between 10 and 11 millimeters, and it needs to be as static as possible and still be CE certified. So and that's So I'm really curious what people think is a good rope for that. We used to use a snake bite, but that's not CE approved, so we need to find a new alternative. So if anybody have a good idea what to use when climbing on the TAS, I'm really interested to hear.
Yeah, I think the biggest problem is the TAS here, because that only takes what is it, 10 and a half to 11?
Yeah, I think 10 to 11. Yeah.
Yeah, but there's a KM3 Max from it's made by it's from Teufelberger.
Yeah.
It is the result of the Extrema.
Extrema, here comes Extrema from Quran.
Okay, yeah.
So check them out.
I will. It's always interesting to find new equipment, and like the new ropes with the eyelet that you can pull through the zigzag and stuff. I really like all these developments that are coming out.
Yeah. Well, I know we're constantly scanning for new products, and it's not all the time that the manufacturers tell what they have in the pipeline. So it's a constant work.
Yeah. Yes, it's kind of funny because the rope that I use for climbing most of the time is like the Petzl Flow 11.6 mil rope, and it has an eye in one end that can go through the zigzag, but in the other end it's just cut off like a normal rope, and it just puzzles me because the wear on the rope is always within like 5 meters of the eye splice. So it just puzzles me why they don't have an eye splice in both ends. I think that maybe there's a Kurong
Kurong has the Japura that has a double splice, but I think the Petzl Flow, it tends to milk, so you're not able to have a splice in both ends.
Okay, or maybe that's the reason why behind it. But I'm really I think the next rope I'm gonna look into buying it would be something that has an ice splice in both ends, because that just doubles the lifetime of the rope. Yeah. Maybe it's not the best for your business, but it's nice to be able to do some more climbing on one rope.
Yeah, I agree. So we have a question here from our friend in Norway, Maggie, XP Maggie actually. So she's asking, will you be climbing, the competition in Copenhagen next year?
Well, there's only one spot for a Danish climber at the World Championships, so I think that's going to be a really tough fight. But we actually have the Danish Championships next month, so I think maybe in Denmark we might be the only country in Europe doing a national championship this year. We can't qualify for anything, I believe, but that just. It's going to be nice to just meet the rest of the people out there and get together and do some competition climbing. It's been way too long since the last time, but regardless of whether I qualify or not, I think it's unlikely. But I'm really looking forward to the international conference in Malmö and the Danish the World Championships in Copenhagen in Denmark next year.
Yeah, so do we actually. It's been a bit dry on the what's been happening here in terms of arbor camps and competitions and such. So a lot of things canceled, unfortunately. We all know why.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
that's another thing. That's another good reason to like your social media. I mean, even though that we can't meet in person, we can still chat like now, or we can follow each other on social media, and I think that's just bonds the community together, that we kind of have this forum that we can meet and see what everybody else is up to.
Exactly. So, that's what we're looking for. Interesting people to have conversations with here on the Friday afternoons. It's been a pleasure so far, and I'm looking forward to the, further episodes coming. So, Moses, I'll let you go there. We really appreciate you coming on, having this very interesting conversation today. And as usual, thanks everybody watching, tuning in today. If you missed anything or want to see anything more, check it out on our YouTube or IGTV channel. Next week, it will be a Swedish episode, and we will be speaking to Åberg Skogskonsult, who does all kinds of different interesting things. So be sure to check that out. And if you speak Swedish or trying to learn, that could be a good opportunity as well. So thanks, everybody. Have a nice weekend, and I hope you have great weather this continued weekend. Thank you. Take care.
Yeah, you too. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Moses. Take care. Good to see you.
See you.
Bye.